them come. This is their fate.
Next thing I wanted to talk about was the Fantastic Four Deliverance. Or no, sorry, not Fantastic Four tag
First
on it.
year or something like that? I
Yes,
forget.
first steps. First
First steps, okay.
steps. Let's talk about that because I thought it was really I thought it was cool. I ain't gonna lie. That was cool. I didn't expect them to kind of use a time like to place it in like a different time. Um the way that it looks is kind of giving like 70s and probably a little bit earlier than that. 60s
Mm-hmm.
vibes. And I thought it was cool. I didn't know Pedro Pascal was playing Reed Richards. I had no idea. I didn't know anything about this. All I know is I watched a trailer and I was immediately intrigued with some of the stuff that they were showing. Um but before I go into my little breakdown or stuff I'm looking at and reading, what are your thoughts, or if y'all did see it, what's your thoughts on this Fantastic Four trailer? I think it dropped today.
Yeah, they teased it yesterday, I think, and it came out today. Yeah, I knew that stuff because they kind of been talking about it for a while. Ever since they got rid of King the Conqueror, they've been talking all about their next steps, which is Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom.
Yep.
So yeah, I knew about the casting. Everybody looks fine. I think Pedro Pascal is just a good actor in general, so I didn't have any doubts. But yeah, I personally don't picture him as Reed Richards, but I'm sold on the actor, so I'll just I'll deal with it because I think he'll
Chalk it
do a
up
good job
to
regardless.
whatever. Kind of like what
Yeah.
they did Doom with they're doing Mr. Doom with what's it, Robert Downey
Robert.
Jr. Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. Yeah, like come on, man.
Yeah, but overall the trailer looked good. It's a more classic period piece, like you said, maybe like the 50s or 60s or something like that. I don't know. More of a reference to the character's original
Yeah, look.
style because they want
Yep.
to go back to the original Fantastic Four. And also, it's a weird thing where this is also the merger between, was it Fox and Disney? Because back when they bought Fox a couple years ago, they got the Fantastic Four back,
Oh, okay.
but the MCU had already been going at that point, because if you remember the Michael B. Jordan Fantastic
Yeah.
Four movie that came out in like 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
That came out after Iron Man, and in the Marvel world, technically the Fantastic Four are as popular as the Avengers, or at least like science wise, they're as important as Tony Stark. And so for them to never exist in the Marvel MCU is kind of weird. So kind of what they're doing now is that this is either a different time or something happened in the past or something like that to try to merge them into the stories that we already seen, because like these characters should have already been here because they're in New York, right across the street from Tony Stark type stuff.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they're trying to merge this in, and I think that's part of the reason why they're going with a different time, uh, like overall visual appeal to it looks very different because they're going to try to merge it in somehow.
Mhm.
And then they tease Galactus at the end. Galactus for me, I guess, is the only weird part that I'm not that hype about, just because Galactus is a very, very weird character, in the sense that he's a man, right?
Mhm.
But he gets giant, and not just giant like Ant-Man, like giant to where he can swallow the earth, like that big. And so we haven't seen a character, I guess, in the Marvel movies that is that out there as far as like their abilities and stuff like that. I don't know if they're gonna make him that big in this first movie, but
Mhm.
he's one of their next, I guess, Thanos level villains type thing, where his whole thing is he's gonna eat all the planets. So you gotta stop him.
Oh wow.
That's the only part I guess I'm a little nervous about, because they can mess it up easily. Because in the last, they did Galactus before in one of the old Fantastic Four movies, and he sucked. So
Oh.
yeah, that they gotta do it right.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean that makes sense, and I feel like the little image of him being just as big as this Statue of Liberty, or at least a little bit. I mean, a little bit bigger. At least that's his head, anyway. Maybe they
Yeah.
will. Maybe they did shorten them. Maybe they did make them smaller. I didn't know any. I don't know anything about Galactus,
Well,
obviously.
he can change his size to all
Oh,
types of
oh,
things. He
okay.
can be any size. So what I'm saying is I think that maybe for this first movie they will limit his power, just limit his size to something like tall as a building. But maybe in the future, I don't know if you saw Eternals, but like in Eternals they were showing like
Oh yeah, the big
uh
guy that was stuck in the water.
yeah, so that's not Galactus, but like
Oh,
that type of size or
mm-hmm.
bigger. Like Galactus is bigger.
Gotcha.
If you watched What If season 1, they kind of did the same thing with Ultron, kind of turned him into Galactus for a little bit. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, that's the only part that they could mess up because he could be just kind of like this weird giant thing. But overall, the movie looks interesting.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, um, for me, I was just going to break down what the characters are, what they do, and if nobody was aware of who these people were. But Mr. Fantastic, he's obviously the smartest person in the Marvel Universe. At least he's supposed to be the smartest person in the Marvel Universe. Invisible Woman, Sue Storm. She's played by Vanessa Kirby. I don't never heard of this actress, to be honest.
Yeah, me
Um,
either.
Joseph Quinn, I have heard of him. He's playing Johnny Storm, which is obviously Human Torch. He can turn into flames with his flame on. Did he say flame on? I think he did say
Not in
flame
the
on.
trailer, but he said
Oh,
Flame on, but not in the trailer yet.
oh, okay. Then we had the Thing. That's playing by I never heard this guy either. Iban Moss Bakrik. Is that the guy that plays in Black Panther? No, I don't know who this is.
So he's in the Bear. I haven't seen the Bear, but he's one of the characters in the Bear. He was
Okay.
also in Andor, like when that came out. But generally, just a pretty
Oh, I
good
know who
like
this guy
actor.
is. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know who this guy is. Okay. Well, good. I mean, more shine. These definitely feel like picks to keep the budget low. I'm not saying that they were bad picks, but Pedro obviously has a better esteem. But the rest of them feel like they were like, we want y'all around for a while. We're gonna make sure y'all stay around for a while. We're gonna give y'all a big Mac budget, but we're gonna make sure y'all not known names now. Which is cool.
well, I think they all got some sort of like Academy Awards. At least the guy from the Bear does. I'm not familiar with Johnny Storm actor,
Do
but
you
like I
feel
think
like
it's
they
more like
have movie presence? All right, because when I looked at his, it just seemed like I don't know who Vanessa Kirby is. So maybe I'm doing not doing them justice, but it seemed to me like these are individuals that may have had good positions before, like almost a Robbie Donner Jr. type situation where they like sign you on for a bunch of movies, but you are a well established actor at this point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so they're not, the tip top A list actors, but I think that they are still they've. What I mean specifically is that they've got some sort of Academy Awards that got
Mm-hmm.
them on the list for Disney, and then
Mm-hmm.
Disney sweeping in like, hey, I know you up and coming. We saw you get a couple awards last year. We want to sign you for a 10-year deal with Marvel, and you know help your career keep growing, that type of thing. Not just random people that they picked up off the street, but people
Exactly.
who've shown like, yeah, you've got some strengths. You got a bunch of Academy Awards. We want that talent and to sign you with us. Because I just looked up the girl. Like she's been in Napoleon, Mission Impossible, Fast and the Furious. Like I'm not familiar with her, but like those are big franchises, so I wouldn't say that she's a like nobody.
Okay. Um, that's cool. That's understandable. That's fair. Um, they got obviously this robot called Herbie, which is a humanoid experimental robot, B type, integrated electronics. I think that's what this Herbie stands for. But they also had the Fantastic Car make an appearance. Um, and they had just, I guess this all happened when they were I have no, like, it's bad, but it's not that I have no experience with this like their story, how they got their powers or whatever. It's cool because that gives me a better experience when I go in and I check it out. But
Yeah,
obviously they
y'all
went to
haven't seen the
space.
old one?
I seen it, but I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
One of those things. Um, but yeah, okay. I thought
Yeah, I
that
hope it's
overall it looked good though. To me, it looked
yeah,
good.
overall it looks interesting because personally I'm not that big of a fan of the Fantastic Four like
Mm-hmm.
individual characters. Like I was surprised when they brought them to Marvel Rivals and they're actually fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, hopefully they make their movie portrayals interesting. Because my issue with like the old movies is yeah, the movies were also not that great, but Johnny Storm, he's interesting. Miss Fantastic, he's kind of weird. Susan Storm, she kind of just is invisible for most of the movie, or like trying to put up barriers. And then the thing, he never really gets shine because like he's strong and he can like fight the Hulk, but in the movies he's never really got any ability to like show off. So
Right.
hopefully they make them all like cool, so
Yeah.
we care about them in the future.
How many was it only one Fantastic Four movie or was it two of them? I feel like there was one as a Silver Surfer.
I thought it
Yeah,
was
it's
two.
three Fantastic Four movies.
Oh, dope.
It was the first one that came out, and they fought Doctor Doom, and I forget the actor. He was a popular TV actor at the time, but he was pretty good overall. It was all right. That was like early 2000s. Then they did the Silver Surfer movie that Jalen mentioned. That one kind of sucked, and Galactus was in there. And he wasn't a man; he was a cloud, and so they kind of like fought a cloud. And then they did the reboot with Michael B. Jordan, where he was Johnny Storm, and people was mad because like why he black, how he
Mm.
related to them and stuff like that. He was in it, end up being one of them was adopted or something like that. But anyways, that movie sucked because it was just wasn't good. Uh, and so now this is the fourth Fantastic Four movie in our like lifetime, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, Jessica Alba being old girl is was definitely an interesting choice. I don't even know how these people originally looked. All I can remember is the people that played them the first time, and that was with the thing and everything, and then the Silver Surfer movie, Blase Blase. But to me, this one looks like a lot better in regards to just depiction and understanding the source material, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I think them going for the original like style helps instead of trying to
especially with the
translate
source
it
material, yeah, the
into
feel of it and like nostalgic of it,
yeah,
yeah,
instead of trying to translate it into modern like style and they got modern clothes, just Fantastic Four. It's going back to like a classic style and that kind of works. Kind of I guess what James Gunn wants to do with Superman, where it's
yeah,
it's going for a more classic look, so it feels different and completely different from like Zack Snyder stuff.
yeah. I think we're starting to disassociate with the movies because we feel as if they're not as out there as they used to be. Because now a Marvel movie or a movie about these superheroes are very common. So a change in the formula and going back to an historic or more different time, making Marvel superhero movies period pieces might be the move. Might actually be the next wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean it worked for Loki, so I
It
think
worked
that
for
might be.
WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
So yeah. I think that those are great things, and we're looking forward to seeing it. For sure. So